Alright, so a little while ago, I called Wuthering Waves the best gacha game out there right now, and that hasn't changed. Patch 2.2 is stepping it up yet again. Technically, we even get 2 new 5 stars, but that's just kind of clickbait, right? However, it's actually true. You'll see what I mean later on in the video. But let's quit stalling and take a look at everything we know that's coming to us in the new patch. But first, if you like this kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out, and we're on that push towards 10k, which will be the first milestone for the channel. The Kuro devs also gave me some codes to give out. These are specific to me, so just join the Discord in the description and DM me and I can send you a code. They're one-time use only. So in patch 2.2, we'll be getting a new main story quest, and it looks like it's going to be a big one. We even get a new boss enemy, Fleur-de-Lis, I think that's how you say it, who was shown to us in previous promo and looks exactly like Cartethia, but like a Super Saiyan 2 version, but instead of longer hair, she has bigger boobs. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, look at the two of these people. Don't they look the same? Anyways, also in 2.0, this old man fellow on screen who wears an eye patch because Rover probably busted a nut in their eye after they saw Azani, well, he hinted that Cartethia might not necessarily be a good girl. It was also hinted he could be lying, so this could be a red herring, this could be foreshadowing. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But the devs did at least spill the beans on one thing and let us know we're going to be heading to that mysterious spiral cloud formation in the sky. This patch is called the Maiden, the Defier, and the Death Crier. Based on this, I think we can expect to see 3 featured characters, and some of these could even be reveals. We've already been teased some characters in the 2.0 promo, and one of them will be making their first appearance in-game during patch 2.2 in the form of Chiokona, I think that's how you pronounce it, a wandering bard. I probably didn't say that right. Anyways, just like other patches, it looks like Rover has already met them before, and Chiokona, Jesus Christ, will also be using an ability to help the Rover relive this memory of them. It should also be noted that the devs said the Blessed Maiden brought back to life, so I think that's at least one big hint towards some juicy lore, especially with who has been shown on screen in that moment when they said that, which was Cartethia, but the devs said later in the livestream that Fleur-de-Lis is the Blessed Maiden. And they're also lookalikes. Coincidence? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, crappy theory aside, the new area looks absolutely amazing, and I think might top the water areas in 2.0, which I thought were previously the best looking areas in the game. It's an inverted tower structure in the sky, at least that's what the devs told us, and this gave me massive Farum Azula vibes from Elden Ring, if you've ever played it. And if you haven't, what the hell are you doing with your life? Go play it right now! Like, turn this shit off and go play Elden Ring, you buffoon! It's like the best game ever made, you uncivilized swine! I bet you drop low-tier loot when you die. In-game. Anyways, they also said part of the patch 2.2 journey will take place in the past. Sometimes time travel can be cringe, but I trust Kuro Games to not make this, a sloppy mess. It seems like a well-thought-out instance-based situation rather than some trick they are relying on to fix bad storytelling or a plot hole in an anime, something like that. It's described that we'll be slowly uncovering the history of the Sentinel, and what a better way to experience history than literally being there yourself, right? But you probably already figured that out when you heard that Chiokona's resonance ability was being used to be able to do this. We were told by Cartethia in the 2.2 trailer that this is, quote, where it all started, the origins of the second dark tide, end quote, and that we need to unlock 3 seals at 3 smaller towers in order to access the larger tower in the center. Based on the patch title, it's likely these seals are guarded by the Maiden, the Defier, and the Death Crier, which makes 3. Just a thought, but it's also likely our big boss fight will take place in that center tower, but who knows. But I don't want to speculate any further or yap about the story too much. I think players will really enjoy this patch and should experience it firsthand themselves. Now let's address the booba in the room, shall we? The Havoc character Cantarella, and I keep saying that wrong because, like, my mom's Spanish, so I see 2 L's together, it makes me want to say Cantarella, and that's not how you say it. I think it's Italian, Cantarella. Anyways, we'll be getting her this patch. Havoc users rejoice, although she's a buffing healer, so the Havoc damage doesn't really matter a whole lot, but the Havoc aesthetic is still cool, and it fits her poison theme very well. I'm more of a butt guy myself, although Cantarella is hiding a dump truck back there. It's clear that her main feature is the biggest bazongas in the game. She will also have a feature where she can swim significantly faster than every other character, charge her forte while swimming, which I didn't even know about until I played the beta, and also use havoc attacks in water, and also can float above water too, which is that's kind of sick, dude. I don't like traversal power creep though, to be honest, but it's not like you can't already swim in the game or just use a gondola, but it's certainly more annoying than what she can do, having to swim normally or use a gondola or whatever the heck. So hopefully they add a free-to-play feature that kind of makes up for this some way, somehow. Oh, by the way, her weapon is literally a floating jellyfish that follows her around, which is like super sick, and it's a rectifier weapon for anyone who didn't already figure that out, so get farming if you need mats. But old Big Boobs isn't the only character we're getting in patch 2.2. We're also getting a new form for the Rover, the Aero element, which looks kinda lit, brothers. So far, every version of the Rover has had value, so I'm hoping this new form is more of the same, giving Gion some well-needed rest. And players can rejoice because you won't have to worry about a weapon choice, because we're also getting a free 5-star weapon that might just be the best in-slot weapon for the Aero Rover, and I'm curious to see if this new weapon works well on anyone else as well. And all you gotta do is complete the 2.2 main story quest. That's it. That's all you gotta do to be able to get it. So every player that ever plays this game for its entire lifespan can get it no matter what. It's not event specific. Between these two additions to the game, that technically makes 2 free 5 stars. Rover, of course, technically being a 5-star, that is. The Aero Rover playstyle looks very cool, very fun, and it includes mid-air attacks. They can also heal the entire team under certain conditions. They can also convert spectral frazzle stacks during combat into aero erosion stacks with their outro skill. There's obviously more to this, of course, but I'm trying to be a little bit careful about what I say because the kit's not fully public yet. But I can say that the Resonance Liberation deals arrow damage as well as heals the team. Now, some more information I wanted to say about Avenolium. I think they somehow managed to step it up even further than 2.0. I liked it so much I didn't dive into it too far in the beta because I wanted to experience it on my own account. And unfortunately, all our beta accounts get wiped every new beta. But Avenolium has some peak design. The areas look polished, the lighting is phenomenal. It straight up looks like the type of place you'd read about in a good book or anime novel light series. And this will 100% be new polling ritual locations for a lot of players. I mean for me, at least for now, right? Frolova and Scar might want something a little bit darker, so at least until then. We're getting Scar someday, right? Right? Anyways, as you may have already guessed, this new area will be messing around with the gravity a little bit, hence why one of its nicknames is the Inverted Tower. We'll literally be upside down at times, on the sides of buildings, all kinds of shenanigans. We'll be getting a traversal mechanic called the Gravity Collaborators, which will shift the area's landscapes around. So look out for hidden treasures and areas to explore. The last time I was this excited for a new patch was possibly Honkai Star Wars Penacony 2.0 patch, and while 2.0 was good, well, we all know how that one finished off in 2.2 and 2.3. Anyways, Cartethia will be along for the main story with us, kind of acting as our March 7th, I guess you could say, only hotter, but less funny, but also less annoying. But also hotter, so big W in the end, right? And so she'll be our ride or die, helping us cleanse the corruption of the dark tide, and looking good while she does it. Anyways, the traversal in this new area is a lot of fun too, and I think will please a lot of players. Some of the puzzles and area mechanics will be unique to this zone, and once you finish the main quest, there will also be some special quests in Avenolium with some fun minigames. As you might expect, we're also going to be getting some new echoes, and they look pretty darn cool too. I wonder if we'll be getting any new phantom echoes, or maybe some new best in slot echoes for characters. Well, spoiler, we're at least getting a new phantom echo for sure. They let us know this in the live stream, and it's the Capitanius, or Capitanus probably, which managed to somehow power creep Capitano from Genshin, which is wild, and yeah, that's probably why it's called that. They also look very similar. I mean, we can see the resemblance, okay? It was a little bit hard to tell, but the devs seem to hint that you can get this Phantom Echo by completing one of the side quests after completing the 2.2 story. I think that is what's going on. I'm just not 100% sure. Something that was very obvious, though, is we're going to be getting a new Sonata effect specifically for Aero, so don't farm Aero Rover until the patch drops. And with all these new echoes, it shouldn't be too hard to farm up. Speaking of which, the Blessed Maiden is our new main boss enemy, so we might be getting a main echo drop from her, and we may be getting a new weekly boss room as a result of that. Her name is Fluoride. I mean Fleur-de-lis, you know what I mean, who we already went over looks like Big Boob Cartethia. Maybe they aren't related, it could just be similar outfits. Like genuinely, I actually mean that, jokes aside. I mean, Cartethia's shirt would have ripped after a massive bazonga transformation like that, right? Now let's get into some banners. Cantarella, of course, has her banner, but Camellia and Shorekeeper will be the rerun banner, so this is a pretty hype patch despite it only having one new featured 5-star. It's uncertain the exact timing of the banner's length, since this is a 4-week patch, much shorter than others, but hopefully they just keep all 3 banners active the whole patch, that way there is no FOMO. And yeah, in case I didn't point that out, it's a 4-week patch rather than like a, what is it, like a 6 or 7 week patch they normally do? Anyways, Cantarella will also be getting a companion quest, which I'm sure will be full of fan service, and my pants will be full of cum. So I can't wait for that one. We'll be diving into a sea of ghosts to uncover a long-forgotten story, so gooners and lore experts can rejoice. There will be a cool lamp effect where you can seemingly go back and forth between dimensions, which is literally stolen from the newest Lords of the Fallen game, only this time it won't be lame like the Lords of the Fallen game was on release. I heard it got better, but honestly, who cares? In patch 2.2, of course, we'll be getting new events, exploration quests, photo quests, Lolo events with that little hamster dude or whatever the heck he is, a new platforming event, a new co-op combat event which looks friggin' cool as heck, oh, and a new hologram. It's the big old dragon boy, and he's thick, and his damage is even thicker. Something else might be thick on him too, but I'm not going to speculate too much on that. You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. You gooners know what I'm talking about. So get ready to get one shot if you're not careful on your way to victory against this dude. There will also be a new Crisis Trial combat event as well, where you can equip different modules to essentially choose your difficulty in battle through various buffs. There will also be new quality of life features coming to the game. The first one I'll mention comes to those big story skippers. It's called the Story Review feature, for those that skip story and want to go over missed dialogue. Rovers will also be able to plant 10 new waypoints on the map in case players want quicker access to certain areas. Yeah, you forgot about that feature too. I straight up haven't used that thing since 1.0. If they would have never mentioned this, I straight up would have never remembered it existed. They will also be adding 5 more slots to the casket sonar feature for Sonnet's caskets, and a feature players will definitely use is a new materials upgrade feature. Players often have unused materials from supply chests in their backpack. So they added a feature when you were upgrading in the normal character and weapons menus to where when you are upgrading, those materials will also show up from the supply chest in case you needed them there as well. That way they're not going to waste in your backpack. Not gonna lie, that one's pretty good. I forget about those supply chests all the time. And yo, we will also be getting a brightness, saturation, and contrast feature added to the settings menu. So players that like to mess with their visual settings to make Zani's ass seem even more defined than it already is, have even more options to do so now. Just check the graphics color settings menu after the new update. They will also be adding titles to the game, starting with titles from the new Crisis Trial combat event, and they will be adding more titles as the game progresses. I think they will also add this to the player's bio, but admittedly I'm not 100% sure about that one. We know for sure you can display it in the Friends menu, however. It's not a lot of quality of life features necessarily, nothing too groundbreaking or anything like that, but considering how much we got in 2.0 and in 2.1, it's still nice to see them continuing this trend in 2.2 even more. One monumental update to Wuthering Waves is that the game will be available on Steam starting April 29th, which is huge. This is sure to add more players to the player base because some players quite literally only play games if and only if they are available on Steam. They're diehard Steam fans, so this is a pretty good feature. They will also be integrating some new download features for new patches. Specifically, if you're on PC, it's going to download faster and take up less space. They're also going to add the pre-download feature for mobile players as well, so stay tuned for that. And for those that stayed till the end, as mentioned prior, this patch will only be 4 weeks long, much shorter than others, but they are preparing their timeline for the anniversary in May. And with only one new 5-star this patch, it kind of makes sense, right? Free-to-play have less time to save Asterite from their dailies, but come on guys, would you rather have a content drought? This is a much better idea than the Hoyo formula would have been, in my personal opinion. And they hinted at big plans coming for the 2.3 anniversary update. With how generous Kuro has been so far, I expect this to possibly rival Nikkei's anniversary events. Nikkei, from my experience, has the most generous anniversary in all of the top gachas that are out there right now. Either way, expect 2.3 to be filled with lots of rewards, cool characters, and maybe even some stellar lore through another main story quest. Kind of like what we're getting in 2.2, only tuned up even more. Anyways, let me know what you think of the 2.2 update so far in the comments. Let me know if you're pulling for old big boobs, and if you like this kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe. Peace out.